what's up, everybody? Welcome to Tales from the Pit. Well, live and wired, but yes, with Tales from the Pit. Live and wired, episode 23. I have to make sure that I keep a number in these things. Episode 23. And Tales from the Pit, it will be episode 13. Yeah, they're sort of in conjunction with each other, but there are some episodes of Live and Wired where I don't have any Tales from the Pit, but that's few and far between. So yeah, the fact is that we just have, I'm just kind of counting them as we go. But Live and Wired, this episode 23. But anyway, that's not really important right now. This is the episode. This is the show adjunct to SLC Punkcast, where we talk about the shows that we have attended, and we promote the shows, well, we announce the shows that are coming up in and around Salt Lake City. Well, I do anyway, and Dustin handles the national circuit. So now that we got everybody up to date with that, I just think I should have like a script right here. Wouldn't that be nice? Just like get all the introductions out of the way. Anyway, yeah, this is this week's episode of Live and Wired, and I have attended one show. It was a pretty big show. Well, big-ish, in that there were a lot of bands playing, and by a lot, I mean enough bands to accrue for a show that took place at a bar. Okay, it was 5 bands. There were 5 fucking bands that I saw in a bar. But let's get to that. This is Tales from the Pit. So the show that I went to was the Punk Rock Pride Fest over at Aces High Saloon. That was a 6-band bill that started in the middle of the day, and it went on until last call, pretty much. Well, not last call, but it went on into the night. And it was pretty fucking cool. I got down there, and I managed to catch like the last little bit of how do you spell that? Drake's? Drakeys or Dreckies or Dracies? Drexy? I don't know. Somebody said their name at some point during the show, and it's not how I've been pronouncing it the past couple of weeks. So I don't know how you actually pronounce this one, but I caught the last like couple of songs in their set, and it was all right. It was just I don't know. I didn't really get the full effect of it because I was still very much outside through most of it. And I can tell you that it just sounded very avant-garde. That's the most I can give you. Anyway, but I managed to get there in time to see Masculine Artifice. And holy shit, Masculine Artifice, that was a pleasant surprise. They are just so fucking heavy. Like just a lot of chunky hardcore riffs and a lot of chants, a lot of growls. They even had a fucking banjo up there. Fucked if I could hear it. But it was there. It was there. The only time I heard it is when they were doing sound check, but I don't know what the banjo was doing there. Maybe when they have recorded material, it'll make more sense. But either way, they were a good band. It was a damn good band. And they covered a song by Ceremony. I don't listen to a lot of Ceremony, so I couldn't tell you what song that they covered. So yeah, that was about it. And then my friends at Frick with a dot at the end, a band called Frick, they came on and they played an awesome set. It was definitely better than the last time I saw them, which was at the Bewilder Brewing Fest, the Warts Tour that I played with them. And that whole show was just kind of not a shit show, but it wasn't great. And but yeah, I could tell Frick was a lot more in their element here at the bar, singing their little uncensored cover of the Alphabet song. But they were a lot of fun, and I was haggling them left and right, and Bob, their singer, not Bob, Brad, their singer, he gets back at me, is like, oh, by the way, give it up for Eric. He wrote every Frick song ever. I want you to know that. And I go, oh yeah, finally I'm getting the fucking credit I deserve. But nobody cares about the bassist. No. In fact, the bassist is up there playing my bass lines. Thanks, Ethan. Anyway, that was Frick. They had a hell of a good set. I really love watching those guys. They're fun. They're super fun. And then False Dichotomy. God, they were fucking tight. They put a banner up on front of the stage, like where the stage drop into the dance floor. and it was false dichotomy with a Palestinian flag on it. And yeah, they wrote a lot of politically charged lyrics and a lot of and there was a lot of showmanship on there. The singer, I can't remember her name, but she pulls out like a little puppet. This puppet of it was like a groundhog or a prairie dog or some little muskrat looking fucking thing, and it's just like playing along with it as she's vocally doing the she's singing. Fuck, making it look like the little puppet singing. And then there was at one point where she pulls out little cheerleader pom poms like, and is doing like a fake cheerleader dance, and. Yeah, it was just some really weird shit like that. Their music was great though. Their music was fucking awesome. I really liked it. But the showmanship was just really kind of weird. But hey, you remember it. I know it had to do with like the music that they were playing and the subject matter and whatnot, but I couldn't really I wasn't really catching on to it. But it was a great performance nonetheless. Anyway, then afterwards there was the mighty Molotov. Molotov, goddamn, they are just awesome. Writing some like old school late 70s, early 80s, like that kind of cusp punk rock style of like Crass and Subhumans, and they get a little heavier in there, like get a little bit of crust in there, but not much, not too much. They sound a lot more old school, if anything, and they covered old school. They covered Alternative Ulster by Stiff Little Fingers. They covered Neat 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 by Damned, and they did a couple of other cover songs. I just can't remember their names. I'd have to look it up. I have their set list. I got their set list, so there is that. And but yeah, they will be playing my house next month. They'll be playing the Nikki's birthday show / 1 year anniversary of Poser Palace. And yeah, more on that later when it gets closer. We just barely got the set list and flyers all sorted out and everything. Not the set list, the band list, the set times. 2-day long fest. And one of them is coming from out of state, but I will announce that further down the line. Anyway, what was the last band that played? Shecock. Shecock, I have not seen those guys in years, and I remember them having more members. They are just a 3-piece now with, of course, with Sophia and Squid, and now my friend Sid, who's also drumming in Frick, is now drumming for them. So, gosh, she's keeping Sid busy fucking body. I don't know how you do it, man, but she's a master class, I guess. But anyway, the 3-piece, they still fucking kicked ass. Dressed up there up there with Sophia dressed in her like 1-piece cocktail dress, just bright red and equally bright red lipstick and equally bright red stilettos that she's wearing. I'm just like, yep. This is looking really classy. And I say classy. Classy as a band who self-identifies as Shecock. Yeah, that's about as classy as they could get. But they were great. She was ripping on a lot of solos to the stragglers, the people who were just in it till last call. Because when you're headlining a bar show after a pretty stacked bill like this one, yeah, you're lucky if you get a crowd that is near the double digits. And there were still a lot of people who showed up. They had their fan base, they had their supporters and everything. And me, I hadn't seen them forever, so I just had to check him out. And it was a great time. Yeah, super great time, great show. It was awesome seeing all these bands showing up for Pride, showing up for the queer community, and every band in here. That's something I should point out. Every band, every artist that was playing has at least one member who is part of the LGBT community. Yeah, Shecock is, has 2 trans people and a lesbian. And Molotov, they're all, not all of them, but but I know at least the singer and the bassist, they are queer. And Yeah, like I don't know exactly which way they swing, but that's not important. And that's not important. The fact is, they had at least every band in there had at least one person who was trans or gay or non-binary or whatever. It was, yeah. I may be making assumptions on a few of those people, but I can guarantee you that every single one of these bands had someone in that band who identifies as one of the colors on the rainbow. So yeah, it was a great set, great people, great times, and it was it got super hot in there. It's summer, folks. It is actual summer, and it's gonna get horrendous. It's gonna get stupid hot out there. But that was a great show all around. Had some fun times, fun drinks, and just some fun people. But now for the shows that are coming up. These are the shows that are going to be in the next 2 weeks, starting on the 13th. Sometime, Somehow, Buried in Sin, Sutures, Two Winters Only, and Misbegotten. They will be playing at Fellowship Hall, and that's going to be $12 if you buy in advance, 15 day of show. So, well, I guess if you're viewing this day of, it is the 13th, so yeah, you're going to have to be paying $15 at the door, bud. Sorry. Anyway, that's starting at 7 p.m. And then on the 14th, we got, well, a few different shows here, quite a few. First up is Rock Against Fascism. That is with Filth Lords, Clem, Fight the Future, and, well, that's that's all of them. Anyway, that's going to be at Ace's High Saloon. It's going to be starting at, let's see, $8, thereabouts. Yeah, $8, starting at $8, 8 p.m. It's $10 at the door. Oh, my God. I'm just getting hairs crossed. It's been a long day, folks. It's been a really long day. Anyway, just look at the flyer. Look at that flyer. It's pretty badass. Fist on the Nazi symbol. Yeah, that's what we need to see more of. Punch those Nazis right in their fucking teeth. Don't worry, it won't hurt them. Yet. Anyway, what else is on the 14th but Slapfest 2025. Oh, man, this is going to be a fucking party. And it's going to include the bands Sleep Cult, Backhand, Grandma, Keddy's Resort, Big Attitude, Melancholy Club, Pork, Sex Dolls, Moxie, Solitude, Old Face Magenta, Cudney, and Dirty Hands. God damn, what a stacked ass lineup. Look at that. Look at that. And where is this going to be taking place? Well, it's going to be taken just a door down from Duffy's Tavern, across the street from Downtown Music. I want to say it was the original place where Black Feather Whiskey was setting up shop. I don't know if they are still there or if it's just an empty lot, but either way, that's where it's going to be. 930 South Main Street. So if you know where Duffy's and Downtown Music and Black Feather Whiskey is/was, or Black Salt Studio, it's in that general vicinity. Just look for where all the punks are gathering. And knowing Cudney, they'll probably play and just be hitting up Duffy's right afterwards. And I will be joining them, definitely. It's going to be a hell of a time. Anyway, $15, starts at 4 p.m. Then we got another festival happening just down the way at Urban Lounge. This is the Decades Fest. Just a bunch of bands getting together doing cover sets of more well-known bands. We have Lapdog covering Talking Heads, Del Perro covering Gorillaz, No Such Animal playing Green Day, Love Audrey playing Jack Johnson, The Narcs playing Red Hot Chili Peppers, P.S. Destroy This playing Bikini Kill, Venus Death Trap playing My Chemical Romance, The Lip playing Sublime, and Anais Chantel playing Nirvana. Once again, that is at Urban Lounge. It starts at 5 p.m., and it is a few dollars to get in. It's a few dollars. 15. It's a few fives to get in. $15. That's not too bad, seeing all of those bands. Hopefully they all play those songs very well. Because, with cover bands, it's kind of a swing and a miss sometimes. Well, hopefully it isn't for this one. Anyway, moving on the 17th, Ex-Hoarder, Hatriot, Sacrilegion, Among Wolves, and Bone Storm. What a fucking metal lineup that is. That's 5 bands. 5 fingers make a fucking fist, I tell you. 5 fingers make a fucking fist. And 2 of those fingers will be sticking straight up like that. Fuck yeah, they will. Anyway, that's a hell of a lineup. Going to be at Aces High Saloon. Where else? $25 if you buy advance, and $30 if you pay at the door. Starting at 7 p.m., you better get your ass down there. Then on the 21st, we have a very special show because I'm going to be playing it. Yeah, Apathetic's going to be playing once again with Hi-Fi Murder and Radcab. That's going to be at Ogden's Own Distillery, specifically the Sidebar. I've never been up to the distillery, so I don't know if the Sidebar is like a little separate building or an attached building that they use specifically for shows like they do at Quarters downtown, or how they used to do it at Cafenio. Some venues do that. But yeah, that's where it's going to be. It's only a staggering $5 to enter. Holy shit, $5? Really? I thought those went extinct. No, $5 shows are still in existence, believe it or not. And that is one of them, so for some of you, you'll probably be making up for door funds with the ride down there. Yeah, you'll probably be paying $20 to get to the show, or $25 depending on whether you Uber or not. Yeah, $25 if you Uber, $20 if you're probably just throwing gas money and or buying your rides, the person who gave you a ride his drinks that night, something like that. Either way, you'll be spending money, but to get into the door, it's cheap. Anyway, moving on. On the 22nd, we got Poverty Porn, Fight the Future, Mocosos, Sad, and that's it. Yeah, at Oliver Rock. And that show is just bring what you can, pay what you can. They're not really stingy about price on that one. Starting at 6 p.m. Then on the 23rd, we got Sutures, Misbegotten, Thus Spoke Zathura, My Pet Spider, and In Which Divides Us. That's going to be playing at Church and State. Yeah, that's what should be the division. That's the only thing that should be divided, I think. Anyway, Church and State, downtown. And that's going to be $10 in advance, $12 day of show, starting at 7 p.m. And then on the 26th, the Straight Edge Revenge. Yeah, you wish. No, but Mask and Forever War and Ryle and Knife Point are going to be taking over the Depot on the 26th. And that's going to be $25 in advance, $30 day of show. To see all these local bands, you can see them at a lesser venue, like a smaller venue, and pay half that price. I'm just saying. But you should go and support them anyway. Go and support them. Go and support your friends. Starting at 8 p.m. Anyway, on the 28th, Moon Farmer and Moon Wizard and Goat Sifter will be playing at Aces High Saloon. That's $15 starting at 8 p.m. That's going to be a hell of a show. Yeah, the Moon Farmer and the Moon Wizard. Is the wizard the farmer? Or are they just... Or is it a split personality? Or did the wizard create the farmer? Or is the farmer hallucinating and he thinks he's a wizard? To find out, go to Aces High Saloon on June 28th. $15 just to enter. Just $15 to enter. And it starts at 8 p.m. Be there. You don't want to miss the fireworks. And finally, on the 28th, this is where I most likely will be. Cudney, Sex Dolls, Vape Plug, Total Cereal, and the Squirms. Now, Squirms are going to be playing at the Boomerangs Down Under. Boomerangs Down Under. That's somewhere down in South Jordan, I think. I don't know exactly where that is, but you look it up, it'll take you straight there. Yeah, if anything, it's probably a restaurant. Probably something like Outback. But it's only $10 to enter. Unless you're paying at the door, it's $15. And that shit going to be starting at 8 p.m. So those are all the shows that are coming up in the next 2 weeks. I hope you can attend to a few of them. I know that I will be attending at least 2 of them. There's a lot of good shows coming up. Sometimes it's getting really overwhelming. Sometimes you can't make it out to all of them. But such is the way it goes, folks. Anyway, That's all I got for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in on an episode of Live and Wired and listening to my tales from the pit. Once again, I am Eric U. Norris of SLC Punkcast, and I'm going to turn this over to Dustin so that he can tell you about what shows are coming up all over the country. And maybe one of them is coming to a town near you, or maybe you are already in that town. Either way, Dustin's going to take you from here. Once again, I'm Eric. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Eric. And now we go around the world in no particular order, other than I kind of pick up where I left off last week. It is the 13th today while I am doing this. And Haywire are in Phoenix, Arizona tonight. They were in Tucson last night. They'll be in Yuma tomorrow, San Diego, and then California for like the next week. You can kind of see in the lower half of that middle column. Make sure you go see them. Once the 24th hits, there'll be a couple shows in Oregon, a couple shows in Washington, working their way here to Salt Lake, which is the top of that far right column. I am looking forward to checking that show out when it gets here. Still so much more to go as they work their way through the West and back to the East, so go check them out when they're in a town near you. Next, we've got on Saturday, June 14th, RF7, Noise Agents doing their record release show. That's tomorrow night with Splinter, Toledo Panic, Hunky Dory. Music starts at 1. Bring your wife and kids, but leave the kids at home. Yes, indeed. It's Father's Day weekend show, so treat yourself, all you fathers, and all you non-fathers, well, go celebrate Father's Day with them. Big Attitude are next. I Want to Destroy tour. They are working their way here to Salt Lake, which is Saturday the 14th. They'll be at Slop Fest. They just did a couple California shows tonight. They're in Reno, Nevada. Then on the 15th, Pueblo, Colorado Springs on the 16th, Albuquerque 17th, El Paso 18th, 19th in Phoenix, 20 in Las Vegas, and back home to San Diego on the 21st. Go follow them, bigattitude.ca. Then the Chisel have a couple upcoming shows. They've shown you what they have up through September. A couple of those are coming soon. June 20th and 21st. They've got Glazart in Paris and Hellfest in Clisson. So a couple of those shows will have the Roskilde Festival on July 5th. That's also in the not too distant future. Then Hub City Stompers have a couple shows tonight. They're in Washington, D.C. at the Pie Shop. They'll be playing there with Lady Hatchet. Obviously, the Bad Ups are doing all three shows with them. I forgot to mention that. The Lady Hatchet show in D.C. will be in all ages, $15 in advance, $20 at the door, 7:30. Get there. On the 14th, they'll be in Chapel Hill, North Carolina at Local 506. Also with the Unsustainables and Over the Wire, great band there. 7 p.m. all ages, $12 in advance, a 15-day of show. And finally, this weekend, they'll be in Richmond, Virginia on the 15th at Bandito. 7 p.m. show, 21 and older, $15. Also playing with Chupacabra. So go check out Hub City Stompers and the Bad Ups in those locations. Saturday the 14th, 8 p.m. show. It is a night of local rock and roll in Sin City. You can go see Guns of Brighton, TJ Welch, and The Wasted. It's at the Pelican Pub. Address is there, so go check that out. When they say Sin City, I don't believe they mean Las Vegas. Then we'll head to Loco Fest, which is also June 14th. This is going to be a busy weekend, Father's Day weekend, busy weekend. Make sure you go check out some shows, some festivals. It is the 20th and final edition of the Loco Fest. You'll get to go see GBH, The Toasters, Antidote, Deaf Devils, Streetwise, Claim Choice, Aturi, Malade de Ruins, La Esther Stella, and Granny's Cocaine. So I don't know all the bands. Definitely need to check out some of those bands because they're playing with a lot of really good bands I do know and do like. There's another festival that'll be the next weekend on the 20th and 21st of June. This looks like it is, this one's in Poland, and it is on the 20th. You get to see Procurator, The Bastard, The Thinners, Our Pal City Saints, Lenwich, The Ghost, Idiocratia, Raid, Gwyn excluded. I've already started the second column if you haven't been able to tell on the 21st. For Ziki, Cedes, The Analogs, New Wave Punk Rock, IQ 60, and Wallachia. So go check that out. A lot of really great stuff on those lineups there. City Saints have a couple other shows. A free indoor show. This one looks like it's in Berlin on the 21st. They'll be playing with Sensatones, Vadat, Knifey, Madlocks, and then they're headlining going on at 10 p.m. there in Berlin. And then this show here, maybe it's the 25th. I don't know what Beiskvaler is, but the show also features Kat Grot Orna, along with City Saints, Fruchtansvlard, Larchon, and Anal Kalsup. Man, I did a terrible job, but you can see the flyers. Go to city_saints if you want more details on those shows. Next up, in Cork, our pals in Easy Company releasing the new record. Dolly Cork, it looks like Pucks and No Brainer are going to support them on the 21st. You can get tickets, looks like £10 online or at the door. Go support them. The new record will be there. I sent it to him. Says it should be there by Tuesday. So even with your expected delays, but it looks like it's well on its way and it'll probably be there anyway. They've got a whole bunch of really killer green vinyls for that new release. If there's something, we're against it. So go support the band. Get yourself a record. Easy Company's fucking awesome. I'm going to be talking to them next week. Next up, another DC show. It's an Oi and Ska weekender. It looks like 2 days, June 20th. Friday night, you get the Hanging Judge, the Chariots, and the Captivators. And then on the 21st, you get Anti-Heroes, love them. Schaefer Battle, love them. And then Johnny Meller's Bastardos, the Violent Isles, we just played them not too long ago. And Wayward Brigade played them a bunch as well. Looks like I'll check out some of these other bands. Those ska bands on the first night there. And then there's a QR code, lots of other details. Go to any of those bands, I'm sure. Hanging Judge, Anti-Hero, Schaefer Battle, all of them. The Violent Isles. All of those bands, I'm sure you'll be able to get more details. But, man, that looks pretty awesome for next weekend. Take the Skinheads Tubing 9. This will be in New Braunfels, Texas. It's Saturday 21st at Lake McQueenie. You go see our pals in Hard Sell along with Ugly and Proud, Overtime, Shred the Deck, and I think that's Confused. I'm confused, but I think the band is confused. So 5 bands there. That's awesome. Go tubing. Next up, the Crombies with Antagonizers ATL. This show is in Chicago. Antagonizers making their way up to Chicago to play with 3 Chicago bands. The Crombies squared off and fighting for scraps. That's Thursday the 24th. That's next week. Get to that show. And then finally, Sharp Fest, which will be in Bandung in Indonesia. United We Stand. Sharp Fest is on Saturday, June 28th. Features Republic Mimpi, I think that's a P. Anti-Squad, Rentier FC, The Mons, Gateng Abadi, Case 15, The Gangs, The Lad 69, who I'll be talking more about in the future as the 3rd release through POW Records. Baterbell, Perry Boys, Scandal of Riot, Firecrackers, Red Blood. I can't even read that one. Boblum 5 Watt, Young Coconut, and the Merzdoth. I apologize for anybody whose band name I couldn't read, but nonetheless, get to that fest. That is loaded. That Saturday, June 28th, there in Bandung is going to be awesome. So go check that out. Thank you for tuning into this week's Live and Wired. Go see his show. If there's flyers you want to send us to include on here, we would love to, so do that too. Until next week.